You can just come over here and sit occasionally, though, if you want to, and we'll just record it.
You could do it right this minute.
Okay.
Okay. What do we? It's running, isn't it?
Yes.
Those little things are going around and around and around.
Do you want current? Do you want to describe currently what's happening with you? It'll be outdated.
Currently, no, it'll be outdated.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I am. What Harvey Milk's all about, we don't really know.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Because it's new. It's a whole new thing. Let me give you one upfront example. There's a fairly wealthy gentleman in the city who has contributed to many political campaigns in the past. Everybody. His voting record and my voting record on issues would be identical. He's a liberal. He stands for everything I guess I stand for. And he won't give me a penny because he chokes on the word gay. He admits it. He says he's got to hang up. And in essence, he would definitely vote for Wallace before he'd vote for me, even though Wallace stands for everything that he's against because of that one thing. And there's an awful lot of that in this city. You don't hear about it, but it's here. It exists. It's deep. Okay, so there's two ways. One, you could take a 20-year, 30-year approach and educate people, and slowly educate and hope you change people's views. And that will be done. But at the same time, what about the poor people today, the people who exist today? And so what you have to do is confront them. And what Harvey Milk is all about, I guess, is confronting them and saying, look, the government is screwed up. They give us little crumbs and we go back happy. In the meantime, they rip off millions and millions for themselves. And then they full hypocrisies and they prejudice. And somebody's got to call it. And right now, apparently, most of the political people are in on this whole crazy game. The Lockheeds, the Northrops, all this. I mean, the Congress knows about this. And nobody seems to want to ever challenge and say, what the heck is democracy about? What's government about? So you have that on one side. And coming from a gay person, it kind of throws them in a kind of a tailspin. First of all, to be challenged to start with. And second, to be challenged by somebody who they disapprove of, their lifestyle, because of their prejudices. And so you have kind of like hitting on two fronts. And what happens is sooner or later, they may not admit it, but sooner or later they say, hey, this guy is really fighting for what I stand for. And when he realizes that I'm on his side on the issues, and that the Nixons are on the other side, then he will then accept me as an individual because we're fighting the common enemy. And once he accepts me as an individual and joins me in the battle, then he will overcome some of his prejudices and some of his hang-ups. And I think the clear-cut example of that was in the last supervisory race when the hard hats, the Archie Bunkers, the San Francisco construction and building trades, not only endorsed me, but worked for me, campaigned for me, wore buttons, handed out literature. And these are the people who were stereotyped as anti-gay, but they realized that I was fighting for them. I was fighting their battle because I believed in it. And once they understood that, then the fact that I was gay was insignificant. This stretches not only to gay people, it stretches to blacks, all minorities, and it even goes further. It stretches to the people in the streets that the politicians and some of them and some of the, quote, leaders have to understand that when we have common battles, we have to fight together. And I think that's what Harvey Milk stands for, in essence, is the fact somebody is willing to get up there and fight these battles because he believes in them, because he's dedicated to them, and at the same time, by doing that, build the bridges between the different communities. Sometimes the bridges are shaky, but they're bridges that didn't exist before. And I think it's vital that if we are to live in harmony, and as the larger the population grows, the more harmony we have to live in, or there'll be an awful place to live. If we are to live in harmony, we have to build bridges from community to community to community. That doesn't mean we have to accept. It doesn't mean we have to accept their lifestyle. They have to accept my lifestyle. But they have to realize there has to be a tremendous respect have to realize that we have a common goal, and that is to live and to enjoy life. And so I guess what Harvey Milk's all about, and what I try to have people do is say that you can't sit down and discuss intelligently, logically with political leaders because they're not into that. You can't throw stones and bricks because that doesn't achieve anything. And so you have to kind of work through the system, work hard at it, learn it, and when they realize that you're working in the system, they help build that bridge, and we all finally achieve what we want to achieve through the system. And I guess that's what I'm all about.
Let me ask you a question.
We have an interview.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you, I just want to tell you that I talked to those folks and they said they don't care anymore. So, for what it's worth, I don't think they give a damn when they're there anymore.
I appreciate everything you've done, Billy.
Okay.
I really appreciate you trying to, be the kind of